Hi everybody, my name's Allie LaRock and I'm a visual artist and teaching artist, and I've decided to do some tutorials because so many of my students have asked me to share what I share with them already. So today we're going to start with something really simple. One thing I really believe is that art is for everybody. I tell my students there's not a right or wrong way to do art because we're all different people. So art's going to be different for all of us. This fun technique I'm showing you today will help you generate new ideas, whether you're somebody that draws a lot, somebody with little drawing experience, or maybe you're somebody that thinks drawing's not for me, or art's not for me. Well, I truly believe art's a skill that everybody can learn. So today what we're doing is something I call start with a shape. And I am just going to use a piece of charcoal. But when you do this, you could use pencil, crayon, ballpoint pen, whatever you have lying around. So there's a few ways to do this. I'll show you a few variations. One of them is to just draw a random shape. So I'm just going to draw a random shape. Now this is a lot like looking in the clouds when you're daydreaming or outside. You might suddenly look and see a dragon or a person's silhouette or a dog face in the clouds. That's the same idea with start with the shape. Now I'm not going to turn this big piece of paper around, but if you're doing this on a regular size piece of paper, you can flip it around and look at it from different angles. So what do you see when you look at this? I'm seeing lots of different things. I'll just share some of my ideas with you. Maybe we've thought the same thing. I look at it and I see that there could be an ice cream cone below it, like it's a big blob of ice cream. It also looks like it could be some type of little sea creature, or maybe this is somebody's nose, an open mouth, and an eye would go there. Maybe it's the top of a tree. I do see this too. Somebody's crazy hairdo. Maybe it's partly covering up their eye. There's their eyeball. This isn't a very advanced drawing. It's simply a doodle. But I can add more things to it. There's their ear, more parts of their nose. But think about it. Before, it was just that blob. There's an earring. Maybe it's an older lady. But I've transformed it with my imagination. So that's really what these drawing techniques are about, is warming up your imagination and realizing, yes, you do have one. Once you've done one of these, you could keep doing it over and over with the same shape. You could have everybody in your class or your friends start with the same shape and see all the different variations. It's kind of amazing how differently everybody sees something. And that's the neat thing about art. There's really not one way to look at things. So here's another idea. I didn't mention this one before. It's going to be like an imaginary fish or creature. You don't have to make things that are real. Just erase that. There's this little fins. And once you get going, of course, maybe you can add other things. There it's going to be going after another fish. Who's trying to swim away. I'm just going to do a couple more variations just so you can see all the fun possibilities with this technique. I've already pre-traced the shape. Now, look, as I keep looking at it, I see a ghost. I see a person. I really see a person's face. Oh, I just saw this. I wasn't planning to do this. See this little dog head. There's its like fluffy hair. Here's its ear. There's its little eye. It kind of looks like a little teeny poodle or something. And of course you can, I'm guessing this would be like a fancy little dog. It's going to have a cartoon little body, but I don't know much about poodles, but this is an imaginary dog, so I don't really know what its tail would be like. There we go. And maybe it's going after a bone. And the bone also has, because it's kind of a fancy little dog, the bone has a bow on it. And the dog also has a bow on its hair. Here we go. I just want to give you one more example of what this shape could be. If you like it, actually, before you even do your own shape or afterwards, if you want to try this shape yourself and see what you come up with, I invite you to go for it. We'll pause this for a second in case you actually want to take a look at it and copy it down and try your own variations. So, the other thing, well, I see a lot of things when I look at this. I keep seeing a little ghost. Now I'm actually just going to start shading areas in here. Now when you do this, like I said, you can use any material. I picked this little vine charcoal because it's going to be easy for me to draw with and easy for you to see. But when I do this with students or on my own, I like to use pencil first. A lot of times I'll use marker or oil pastel, sometimes even paint. And when I'm all done, I'll show you some examples that I've made using this technique. Maybe this little ghost realizes that he can go trick-or-treating, and he doesn't even have to dress up. So there's his little bucket. Maybe he can't really eat the candy, but maybe he goes and gives it away after he collects it. But there's his, trying to make it look like he's flying. He's a pretty simple little thing. The first thing I did was I started with a random shape. Now I want to start with a basic shape. I'm talking, when I say basic shape, I mean things like circle, square, rectangle, trapezoid, triangle. I'll start with a triangle. Now this has lots of possibilities. If you're with people, you guys could start telling each other your ideas. What do you think this triangle could become? There's probably thousands of ideas that could come off of a triangle, especially when you can add more or turn the paper around. I guess this is the first thing I think of. I think of somebody at a birthday party with a birthday hat on. Pretty simple, but that's the first thing that came to my mind besides pizza. But that seemed too obvious, and I really